Hello and welcome to the Album, and today I'm going to be doing Weekly Rock News for the 18th of August 2013, and I'm going to be doing an Ickle Wickle update. Yes, that is a pretty stupid name for an update. I'm pretty aware of that. Anyway, okay, so I was posting, I would go for the update first. So I was posting on my Facebook page, I think yesterday, and I didn't seem to go down well. So I thought I'd, tell people don't follow my Facebook page. Link always in the description below to that if you don't like it already. Yeah. So basically, I'm planning to start this new series. Well, it's an album reviewing series, but it's a little different to what I usually do. So usually I do my full 10 to 15 minute long, track by track, I hope detailed, informative reviews. And, well, they take me a long time to do, and by no means am I abandoning them. I still like doing that. I see it as a very good format for, giving information about an album. And, I'm going to be doing that for new album releases, for my discographies, and yes, Hard Day's Night by the Beatles is coming in the next couple of days. Also, the film, I'm going to review the film of it as well. Yeah, and for albums I feel are worthy of it. But I thought weekly, basically, I'd just take a random album, slash a viewer requested album, which we'll get into in a second, and I'd just give a sort of a 5 to 7 odd minutes, just talk, just as an overview about my feelings on the album, some of my favourite tracks, least favourite tracks, what place it has in the band's discography, etc. But instead of going track by track for everything, because there's some albums I just feel I can't really do track by tracks for that I'd like to cover. For example, I talked about covering a couple of Joan Jett albums the other day, and I was thinking, saying like I love rock and roll, I don't really have enough to say for a full track review. But there's still a lot of, there's still stuff I want to say about it. I want to talk about that album. It's a good album and a classic album. So I thought this segment would be pretty cool. I'm hoping to do it on a Friday, so it's going to be on a Friday, just short reviews, and also I'm going to be taking requests. I've taken requests in the past, but I'm not usually that consistent. So yeah, leave below requests for what album you think I should cover first in this series. And I'm going to be asking for requests at the end of each of the videos I do on the Friday, so you can post new requests there. The only rules I ask is that they weren't released this year. Because albums released this year, I've put in a review roundup, we'll do a full review of them. So no albums released in 2013. Obviously nothing with like the Beatles, because I'm doing discography of them. And the only other thing I'd say, don't really bother asking for Metallica. It seems every reviewer under the sun has covered the Metallica albums. I will be doing a band review of them in the future after I eventually get the Reload album. But I just think it's been done, so many times. I don't feel a need to retread, because I pretty much agree in general with what everyone says about Metallica. So yeah, definitely leave them below. Anyway, to the news. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to go back to starting on a sad note, yes. Don't like starting on a sad note, but there's some particularly sad news. And this is the news that Alan Lanier, the keyboardist of Blue Oyster Cult, passed away, I think August the 14th, at age 67. He'd been ill for quite a long time. He's suffering COPD, which is lung disease. I'm not going to say its full name, it's far too hard to pronounce. Yeah, he'd been ill for quite a long time. Eric Bloom, I think it is. Oh God, I've forgotten his name now. Bloom or whatever. He released a statement, saying that it wasn't a surprise to them really. They, knew it might happen soon. So yeah, it's very sad. Fantastically talented keyboardist. So pump up some Astronomy or Joan Crawford. They're two fairly keyboardy songs of Blue Oyster Cult, also two of my favourites. And yeah, Alan Lanier, a really, really good keyboardist for a phenomenal and one of the most underrated bands of the 70s, and in my opinion, I think they should definitely be rated in this exact same breath as, Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and such. Okay, let's move on to something with a happy ending. So this is just a little bit of news, as I said, it's been a fairly slow news week. So, members of the bands Dokken and Rat were actually involved in pretty scary plane disaster. Basically, they took off from some airport somewhere in America, I know I'm so specific, and the cockpit actually caught fire. Yes, after they'd taken off, which would be pretty damn terrifying, I have to say. You know, I'm not a huge fan of planes. I don't mind them, you know, I'm not scared of them, but I'm not a huge fan. That they annoy, especially long plane journeys. They just annoy the hell out of me. Can't stand them. But yeah, so being in a plane when it's on fire, that is pretty damn terrifying. So yeah, luckily the crew managed to control the fire and they landed nice and safely, and no one was injured, which was good. You know, nice to have a happy plane disaster story. Okay, let's talk a bit about the Foo Fighters. So, I mean, not much to say. Dave Grohl has confirmed the next Foo Fighters album will be coming out next year, and he's going to be recording it in an interesting way that apparently has never been done before. He hasn't revealed how, but I don't know, it sounds kind of interesting how, I don't know, I've literally no idea what the hell he's trying to do, but you know, it sounds interesting. I wasn't a big fan of Wasting Light. I think it's probably the weakest album. I'd say it is the weakest of the Foo's albums, yeah. I'd say Echo, Silence, Patience, Grace, the one before that, is their strongest. Even though a lot of fans didn't like that, they found it a little too light, which is actually what I liked about it. I like, you know, the Foo's one. I mean, they're not hard, they're heavy bands, you know, it's the Foo Fighters. But, yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that album. I definitely hope it's better than Wasted Light. That was definitely one of my more disappointing albums of 2011. Really had very high expectations for that, but yeah, not half as good as... And there was one song, that song that won a Grammy, that was not a great song. That was one of my least... It was like Limo, White Limo or something like that. I can't remember, it's been a long time since I heard it. That's probably my least favourite Foo Fighters song. Yes, it won a Grammy, but who gives a shit about Grammys anyway? Certainly what rock fan does. I mean, yeah. You know, the Grammys for metal, it just seems they just like to cock tease Megadeth every year. It's like, oh, Megadeth, you got a nominee? You want to win a Grammy? Nah, fuck you. You're not winning it. It's harsh. Except I doubt anyone wants them to win it for Super Collider, even though I like that. Anyway, Black Sabbath. Not that surprising. Apparently, Geezer Butler really feels this tour could be their last, which is a shame because didn't manage to get tickets to this tour, and I'd love to see Black Sabbath. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, you know, they're old guys, and he just feels they won't be touring for much longer, and he wants to end on a high. The Tony Iommi has also expressed interest in actually touring 13 by playing in its entirety. So it'd be interesting, could we actually see Geezer go the same way as Bill Ward and have just Ozzy and Tony in the band? Could be interesting, it could be interesting. Geezer, he really seems like he wants this to be their last tour. But I don't think Tony does, and I don't know about Ozzy, but he seems to be enjoying... Well, Geezer is enjoying it, he just feels that he's not sure how much longer he can, you know, keep up and still play bass to his best, and, you know, how long he can endure the road. So, yeah. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say. This has been the Albman. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.